We're gonna work the lower leg now with some of these soft tissue devices, and we have quite a few that we can choose from. It's really about what you find opens up your tissues more. There's a lot of debate out there about what is appropriate soft tissue treatment, but really what we want to do is explore the tissue, find your restrictions, and you'll feel when you have an impact. You'll feel when your nervous system calms down and some of that contraction dissipates. That's what's going to give us the opportunity now to move better and more freely. So we'll start with some of the percussion stuff, and I have 2 hypervolts here. This is the original hypervolt, and this is the plus. It's just a little bit stronger of a percussion. It's a stronger motor, and some people really love this. Many people really like how it feels, but for us it's really about how much impact it has. So if you don't feel that it opens up your tissue, it's okay. If it feels good, you're getting blood flow and you're gonna have some positive benefit there, but the key thing is that it's gonna allow for movement. So we wanna make sure when you're doing your assessment and then you do use any device or any tool, that afterwards you do feel more free. You feel like you can move the structures a little bit better, the tissues feel a little bit more free and loose. Okay, so with the hypervolts, maybe I'll use this one so you can see better. You just turn them on the bottom, and then you have a button at the back with 3 speeds. You just press once, twice, or 3 times. So I'll start with this and loosen up my calves a little bit. And your calves are, as we discussed in the anatomy, you have several layers of tissues. And so we can mainly get to the superficial structures, but because of the percussion, there is some deeper influence. And we'll work all around, inside, outside, medial, lateral, anterior, posterior, or front and back. And then once again, we want to try to move while we're doing this. When you find an area, spend a little more time there. Okay? So that's one thing we can use. And then we have various foam rollers. This is also made by Hyperice. This is called the Viper. You turn it on the bottom, and then we have some vibration that comes up. I'll leave it on 1 so you guys can hear me. And then we would just use our own body weight. You can do leg off, opposite leg on for a little bit deeper of an influence. And then we're gonna go all the way to the outside, all the way to the inside. We find the spot, we're moving around all directions, trying to free up the tissue. So I feel a spot out here on my peroneal. And so I'm gonna tilt the ankle because the outside muscles influence tilting, the inside muscles influence tilting, and mainly the back and front influence dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, that way. So if I'm on the back, I'm gonna move in all directions, but really emphasize the dorsiflexion and just work through those tissues. Oops. So we also have the Hypersphere, which is the same sort of thing. It's just, you can use this on your lower legs, but I find it better for other areas of the body. There's a trigger point roller you can use on the lower legs. And I have an Intella roller here and a softball. There's many things you can use. You just have to find out what's best for you. And then when we're working into the front of the shin here, this anterior tibialis is right on the outside of your tibia, your shin bone. We need something that has a little bit more of a point to it, a little bit smaller in size. So this allows us to get into the tissues without going onto the tibia, onto the bone. So we'll just roll up against the tibia. It's usually a pretty good spot, especially if you're a runner or you do any sort of repetitious activity. You're gonna feel some stuff in here. And as much as possible, you wanna try to move the ankle around while you're working those tissues. Okay, so explore that. If you need more specific work, you can always go to your trusty thumbs. And once again, you want to move while you're working that tissue. All right, give that a shot. I want to talk about isometric ramping with the calf. A lot of us have some neurological tension in our calves. It has to do with footwear, it has to do with maybe some overuse, and also just some of the sedentary environments we find ourselves in. But this is a really good tool for not only calming the neurological tension, but also improving your self-awareness and improving your body control, and the map in your brain of all the pathways of movement that we have available. So we can use a feedback from something like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, and we can contract into the specific area where the ball is. And because isometric contractions are not only a safe way, but a very effective way for reducing pain, reducing tension and discomfort, we can calm the nervous system or calm the contracted state of the muscle, and also improve that awareness and improve that self-control, or that body control, maybe self-control too. So I'm just gonna put this on my calf, roll around, find a spot that feels a little bit tender. There's one right there. And then I'm gonna try to contract that very specific area, and I'm ramping it up to a pretty decent contraction, as safe and great as you possibly can. And then I'm gonna slowly ramp it down. And then I'm gonna ramp it back up, contract it. I'm not moving the ankle, mind you. This isn't like our exploration before. I'm just trying to isometrically, which means I'm not moving while I'm contracting, I'm just contracting the muscle. And then I can feel it getting in there a little bit deeper now. So I'll find another area, I found another spot. Again, contracting, ramping it all the way up, trying to keep my breathing calm, and then bringing it back down. Okay, give that a shot.